unite. It's time to war, to fight the fight against the puppet masters pulling strings. We'll strip away the power, hear our piercing scream. We won't be silenced anymore. We break free from the chains that they adore. Stand tall, Unrig in the game we rise. We'll bring reality from their lies. Unrig the game, unleash the fury.
Greetings and welcome to Unrig the Game. How's everybody doing this evening? I hope you're all doing and living well. Boom. All right. We are off and rolling. Thank you to all of my YouTube Winner Circle members going there at the bottom of the screen. Thank you for supporting the channel. And thank you to Shelly and Wolfram for also supporting the Rumble channel. And welcome all the new Rumble followers. We've got quite a few in the last couple of days. Welcome to each and every one of you. So happy that you're here and joining the solution. Thank you. All right. And to everybody on X, thank you guys as well for being here. Once you show up, it'll be awesome. All right. Let's see. I'll refresh that. Make sure I got my links ready. How's everybody doing out there? Slow night. It's Labor Day weekend. Everybody's coming back from Labor Day. I get it. We got 2 chapters to read tonight, and we are on our way to almost finishing this book tonight. Vivek Ramaswamy's Woke Inc. You know, you got to have an open mind in this thing. You know, you got to have an open mind about stuff. You got to listen to all people and all takes, and you can't get too bitter when things aren't going the way you want them. You kind of just got to plow through it and keep doing your own thing. Remember, we all have a part to play in this fight. From little to big to wherever you're at today to tomorrow. You never know where it's going to lead you or where it's going to take you. The best thing we can do is try to understand each other and minimize the infighting as best possible, because we need to have unity against this corrupt establishment that we all are trying to fight. You know, just because people say that they don't support this corrupt establishment doesn't mean they don't enable it. And there's if you break things down to the simplest paradigm that's out there, it's establishment versus anti-establishment, right? It's like
so what is happening with this coalition, guys, is that you have people that are now realizing that, listen, this is not a left versus right thing anymore. Okay. This is not a Democrat versus Republican thing anymore. This is establishment versus anti-establishment.
Couldn't have said it better myself. In fact, I've been saying that for almost 2 decades now. And that's the truth of the matter, because when you see where your energy goes to and what it goes into, whether it's trying to save the country or whether it's trying to collapse the country, whether you're aligned with the Democrats and the globalists or whether you're aligned with the Republicans or whatever it is, it's the end results we're looking at. Let me say hello to the crowd real quick. Hey, it's Wolfram. What's up, Wolfram? How you doing, buddy? Thank you for dropping those links. Listen to the wolf, and he wipes his paws, lips, and howls. Yes, we're be picking up steam here as we're going, as more and more people start piling in here. Shelly's busy, so she won't be around too much. But we will be checking in on her here in just a second to see what she's up to. Yeah, see, I'm getting the feed now. Oh, it's Phil Rude time. So she's busy tonight doing some of that. We may see her here in a little while, but anyways, I just wanted to say hello to her out there and wish her well and her Ville rooting. And Wolfram, what's up, bud? We're going to take a look at some stuff here early on, but I really want to talk about this because as we go along, we're going to run into different issues, right? And sometimes we're going to run into things that we don't quite know about, or, you know, the best thing to do is that we keep our mind open, right? Listen to all people, but also try to understand where people are in this journey, right? Try to understand what people's intentions are, what they're trying to get at, right? that's the important thing. So I played Carlin, not Kate. I unfortunately called her Caitlin, and I did not read very well when I grabbed that link that was DM'd to me on X the other night. But it's Carlin Borinsky. I'm not going to play that again, but I did play it the other night. Her rant about these socialism conferences, right? And what's part of what she said made a lot of sense. And as far as where are these free Palestine people coming from if they're not supporting the Democratic Party, right? Who are they? What are they doing? What's this far left thing? It's just far left, far left, and there's establishment left, right? But they're all their intentions are the same: collapse the country. All their intentions, all their energy is going towards the same thing. So you see, in the big picture, they're just establishment. I don't care whether they think they're establishment or not. They are. I mean, their intention is. Their outcome will be, oh yeah, that communist utopia establishment. It's the same damn thing. It's just globalist and then little grassroots people that all get offed in the first week of the globalist takeover, right? They think that they're going to take over and they're going to turn the world into something. No, they're cannon fodder, man. They're attrition, right? And whether they brainwash a whole generation or not, I mean, they've been doing it since the 50s. Whether this one's the best one ever, right, or not, it doesn't matter. They're all still attrition. They're just out there to create chaos and bring division and destabilization. Yuri Bezmenov, which I've known about for 20 years, not 5, 20, right? Which I've been putting out there for a very long time, talking about for a very long time. The stages of ideological subversion, they repeat generationally. They keep going, right? Until they get to the point where they can actually pull it off. You wrote that stuff in with the globalist plan, right? And then you have a true front attack, right? And it doesn't matter to the globalists, right? It doesn't matter the who's doing what, where, how. They're going to fund it all. They fund it all over the world. It ain't just here. You go to any Western country, like Europe, any of those places over there. The same processes are happening. In fact, they're a little bit more advanced in some places. But it's the same generational cycle. That's what we talk about, the generational cycle of abuse, which enables the generational cycle of control. That's why the elitists, the ones that are really behind this, and then are always behind it, the monarchies, the elitists, whatever you want to call them. And I'm not talking about, some of these people go far alt-right and think it's Zionist Jews. Go jump off a cliff, man. I mean, if you think that one small little group of people can control the whole world, you're still wandering around the abyss, right? That's not the way it works. That's not the way ideas work. You see, it's a battle of ideas, hearts and minds at the end of the day. And they know that. But they can wait generations. They just want to keep their wealth and power. And they're gonna try to get their they're try to get control of things, and eventually they'll get it. They do it over and over again. So, whatever, whoever, face, whatever, it's the intention. It's where your results are leading you. So again, I listened to her. I think she probably has some good information. She makes a good point. We do need to understand what she's calling the far left. I just call them the grassroots left or whatever. But these free Palestine, the Antifa types, I knew that they were anarchists back in Occupy Wall Street. That was over 10 years ago. They were there. Who do you think subverted that whole debacle? I know because I was in their Facebook groups, and the leaders of those groups were anarcho-capitalists. And what happened to that group? It went woke. It went left. And they wanted nothing to do with the Ron Paul revolution, which is where I was coming from at the time. But, they wanted nothing to do with that. Hey, Madcore, what's going on, my man? How you doing? Good to see you. Good to see you. Oh, by the way, everybody, this is the kickoff show, right? So what we do here is we talk for a while. I'm going to show a video here really soon, a little bit of a chalkboard action on funding. I heard today that that wasn't right, but I have a question for the person who told me I wasn't right about this. How does this work then? So we're going to watch this, and then maybe we'll get some answers. Because, I did, by the way, this is the kickoff show. We're going to read chapters 12 and 13 tonight. 12 of Woke Inc. by Vivek Ramaswamy. 12 is Critical Diverse Theory. and 13 is woke consumerism and the big sort. And this, again, we're getting close to the end of the book, and these 2 chapters ought to be awesome. We're gonna have a nice long read tonight, and then we'll have a short after show. So anyways, that's what's going on here. If you're tuning in for the first time, I do a kickoff show on all 3 of the platforms that I'm on, and then we leave YouTube and go to Rumble and X. And whenever I say that, I remind myself that I need to make sure I pin the comments, right? So you guys know how to follow me over there if you're new for the first time, and see me on free speech platforms. And that's where we do all the good stuff over there as far as reading books and whatnot, reading and content that YouTube does not want me to show, or I cannot show because of their stupid copyright system. All right, here we go. Why did I do that? Okay. All right, here we go. So that's the kickoff show. Anyways, back to what I was saying. I've played. Hey, Cool Gamer, what's up? Suzanne, what's up? All kinds of people rolling in here right now. What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? So I went. I looked into that. It struck my interest. I'm really curious about what all this was. I went to her X page. I checked out some videos on there. I saw a follow up to it. I'm looking for solutions. There's awareness, guys. I'm going to say it again. Awareness, research, consideration, decision. It's called the buyer's journey, but you can think of it as the buy-in journey, to buy into an idea, to buy into buying a product, to make a decision, to get something. This is the natural progression that everybody goes through, whether it's presented to you that way or not. In your mind, these are the stages that you go through psychologically before you make a buyer or a buy-in decision, before you buy into something, or before you decide to purchase something, like, purchasing a house or a car, or an item for your business, right? A big data server, whatever it is, right? You have to be aware of the product, be aware of the idea, right? But then you need the research on it, because you need to be able to make an informed decision about it, right? And you need to be able to consider things, but you need the research to do that. If all you hear is awareness, it's doing you absolutely no good. Okay, yeah, I know it's there, but I don't know shit about it, right? And so I've yet to find anything other than awareness. But I think that what I got on Carlin's stuff so far, but I'm just scratching the surface. I'm not saying it's not there. I'm just saying that, I went to her stream today and said hello. It's all good, but I was like, a lot of it was just awareness, and then kind of like, this person doesn't like me, this person doesn't like me, and things like that. And that's fine if it's a vent stream, or if it's just a stream where you just kind of get together and just chit chat, right? So I need some substance to figure out what the hell she's talking about in a lot of areas, right? But in some areas we agree. There's a lot of people out there that get a lot of reach, they get a lot of attention, clicks, and views, and so on. They seem to be doing the good work, but they're not really, right? They're jumping the shark in a lot of cases when it comes to conspiracies. They always think there's a conspiracy going on with something before they even get the facts in their hands. They're running and screaming down the street that it's this and that. They're jumping the shark every time. That's not good for our side. It's not good for the new media. How can we build a society on that? We look as bad as the other side when we do that, right? And her take on that, as far as is in the realm of the left, right? How people view the left and how people talk about that. So I went by her stream today and saw a lot of that. Now there's some red flags there, but that's okay. I mean, we have to try to work together right now. I mean, I didn't, there wasn't any denouncing, don't go vote, don't do stuff like that. I would have left right then, because that's just, you're with the establishment, whether you know it or not. I mean, in a lot of cases, she says, well, people, they don't know. They don't know what they're talking about. Well, if you don't understand that your energy is what's really at play here, your consent, right, is really what's going on, then you don't either, right? So you have a little bit more work to do. I've been doing this for almost 20 years. So, I think I probably know what I'm talking about after 20 years of going through all this material and really, really absorbing myself in it. Now, I don't know everything. I'm not going to say that I do. And I'm going to tell you, I still have things to learn. That's why I go see people like Carlin, right? She says that I got some stuff. Hey, Daisy. That's why I go see people like V Radio. That's why I go see all kinds of people, right? I don't, and sometimes they're easy to listen to, and sometimes they're not. Sometimes it's frustrating, sometimes it's not, but everybody deserves to be heard. I deserve to be heard too, right? That way, that when you have an open mind like that, open minds, closed minds, closed minds, that's the way it works. But I have an open mind because I'm trying to get to the truth. Like, I'd rather know the truth than be right. You guys know the motto, right? You know the motto. So we got to look at everything. I even been revisiting Glenn Beck stuff, right? Like, somebody after he, his attacks on Ron Paul, certainly he was on the other side from me way back then, right? He comes around, he was dressed like a weirdo for a while, right? It looks like he totally, I don't know what happened to him, kind of wrote him off for a long time. He didn't seem to be on the Trump train at first, but now he is. He seems like he's really coming around, and now he's making more sense than ever. So here's another guy that's been through the ringer and back, has been doing this a long time, literally was part of the mainstream media at one point, right? And who seems to be making more sense than a lot of people right now in terms of his analysis of the globalist plans and his presentation of the globalist plans. And so he's going to be featured tonight on a short 13.5-minute video about funding, how radical groups are fund protests, right? Now, oddly enough, this was the topic over on Carlin's channel today. And so, and when I brought up, the idea that it was a two fronts, right? It could be done on two fronts. Like, in fact, I think that it makes no sense at all that it's just one damn thing. Now, she brought up something, and I'm going to bring this up first. And I thought this was interesting. This is one of the new things I've heard, and it makes sense, right? That these socialist groups, let's call them the grassroots socialists, right? And let's like the establishment socialists are out there, and that's what I was trying to get through to her. But she seemed like, nope, you're wrong. But you never told me why I was wrong. Nope, right? So I don't go for that. That's just cutting someone's tongue off to lengthen your own. If you're going to tell somebody they're wrong, you really need to go into detail. I over explain things for a reason, right? I go into granular detail for a reason because people deserve to hear it. It may wear some people out, but it won't wear them out as bad as this, constantly talking about why people, don't like you, or how you don't get what you really think you need, or why people aren't saying what you want them to say. It's you got to understand that maybe they just don't have the awareness yet. But when you give them the awareness, they need the research right behind it. You need to follow it up. Awareness scores are like 5 to 10, right? Hey, what's up, T-Rex? Hey, Daisy. I said hello to you, right? I said hi, Daisy. Yes, I did. All right. There's T-Rex trucking right there and more. So again, an awareness score is like 5 to 10, right? And you can get that in probably 3 clicks. So just to put it in the terminology I was talking about with the a digital warfare model, right? Like how people get scored by their clicks and their interests and so on, and how they those scores segment them into groups, right? So you get marketed to a certain way, right? Or so that you are categorized as this, or this, reachable, unreachable, if it's the political DNC political game they're playing, right? Awareness score 5 to 10, easy, right? Research score a little higher, right? We need to know that you're looking at the research and understanding it before we ask you to consider what's next. Okay. So that's the thing. It's like you want your awareness to go boom, boom. And then you want to really lock in the research, right? So, because the research is going to prove your case down the road. When you say, the research says, well, did you tell me what the research was? Did you tell me why you think it's only a narrow 1-lane street to this destination in this giant world full of possibilities and this giant world full of people? There's not this one downstream direct line between one thing to another. There's big groups and little groups, right? There's people like me who have ideas, but they're heading in the same direction. They're rooted in good, right? The intention is free will, right? And then further in, right, we get down to where we're at right now, right? And there's other people out there, evil, intention, authoritarian, right? Their ideas are authoritarian, right? And then they're on that elitist side, that cycle of control side, where they view people as property, right? I view life as giving you your rights, right? We all have a chance. We all have a chance here. We all deserve to live free. It's just two different people on two different paths, right? All rooted in the base energy that leads to intention, that leads to what you're going to output, how you're going to do it, right? Are you going to resist? Are you going to try to dominate? Are you going to try to fight? Are you going to try to rebel and for freedom, for goodness sake, right? For goodness sake. And that's the way it is. So when you break it down, you make it a lot simpler. You can see how we all connect, right? So suddenly, not everybody is out to get you, or it's a way to bring things together. It's a light way to do things. Let's put it that way. All right. Little rant there, but I'm just trying to put my thoughts together on this so I can say that I'm going to keep listening to Carlin for a minute. I'm not going to bring it here yet. But I'm going to listen, and I'm going to see if it's just a bunch of smoke or if there's actually some fire going on there. I think, giving her amount of research and time and dedication to what she's done, there's probably some good information there to learn, but I'm not going to submit to closed-mindedness in any way, shape, or form, right? The only thing my mind is closed against is evil, right? You can't convince me that evil is the right thing to do. And when I close my mind to evil, I close it to authoritarianism. I close it to the establishment. It's not easy. It's that easy, right? And these people that are out there, free Palestine, these anarchists, queer, she calls them queer Marxist or queer socialists or whatever, right? I'm probably getting it wrong. I probably deserve to get it right but I will get it right next to queer theory or whatever, man. But that stuff's all part of Marxism. That's all part of collapse, right? This critical theory stuff is all coming from Marxists. It comes out of the colleges. I'm sure I'm going to hear that. But she said, here I'm back to my point. I found it. She said publishing houses, that they're funded through that these groups that are out there protesting that aren't part of the DNC, they actually were protesting at the DNC, right? She says, well, they're not with the WEF. They're not with the Democratic Party. Okay, but they're still doing the same thing they're doing. They're still going to reach the same place. Doesn't matter whether they're with them or they like them and they're voting for Kamala. It doesn't matter. They're just going about doing the same thing a different way. But that's what she's worried about. And that deserves consideration. It deserves a look at. But I need the research so I can start to consider it. Now, am I going to drop everything and say that that's the only thing we need to focus on? Hell no. Because there's more than one thing going on in this world. There's more than one place it's happening. I don't have the lowdown on how bad France is. I don't have the lowdown on the UK or Germany or Belgium or Denmark or any other places like that. They all have their own problems, and hopefully they all have their own winning reality over there doing the good work. But I don't have time to figure all that shit out. I'm one idea. Well, I'm one man carrying a big idea, a good idea, one you should be subscribed to. So make sure to hit the thumbs up button for winning reality. If you want to win reality, hit the thumbs up button, man. We'll do it together. If you're here, you're part of the solution. So let's go. And they think T-Rex pays property tax, suckers. Apparently they think I'm reachable because I'm getting Harris ads on TikTok. Yeah, I can see that. You what wish you watch me? I'm just kidding. The weird thing is these people are a mix of socialists and fascists. Yes, exactly, they are, because they need to support a big business to push their agendas of socialism. Yeah, and what you're saying right there, there's a lot of truth in that, right? And they are a mix of this, and that's the whole thing. And so Carlin seems to think that the big creators don't get it because of the way that they articulate what their ideas are. My point is I think she's looking at a very granular grassroots level where they don't consider that grassroots level. They see them all as one thing, right? The left is the one thing, right? And me, the false left-right paradigm is fucking gone, right? It's gone. Once MAGA took over, that was it. The illusion of choice was shattered. We now have a clear choice. That's what that's about. And a lot of people are still stuck in this frame because they're still, we've all been trained to think left and right, right? Right or left. Okay. Hey, Jacob, what's up? How you doing? And what that means, and this is the way that I always see it, is like, what level of government are you willing to tolerate? Right. And which is funny now, because it's the very socialist leftists, the new queer anarcho-capitalist, whatever, right? Those people that shatter that description, because they want no government. What they want to do is collapse everything into no government, so then they can come up with their communist utopia, I guess, right? I guess. They're very misled people. They're very brainwashed people. And so let me put it this way. I'm going to look and see more into her work. All right. I'm going to do that. I'm going to see if I can find solutions, if I can find new bits of information, things I don't know. What can I learn? And it might not be an easy watch sometimes, but I'm going to do it anyways. Like she's up. She likes Nick Fuentes. I don't understand that. But that's not my problem. Like, I'm just there for the information. I don't care. But that's a red flag to me. I mean, that dude seems, there's something not right about that guy. Right. But maybe I need to take another look at him as well. I don't know. I don't care, but really, I think he's inconsequential personally. But we're on our own journey here. But that association's a little unsettling for me, right? But it doesn't mean that that doesn't mean anything right now, right? I'm not trying to join her cult. I'm not trying to run away and say bad things about her. I'm still in the research phase. I'm still in the research phase. I've not made a decision about anything. I need to consider some things, but I need more research to get to consideration so that I can make a decision, right? That's the way it works. So when you jump too fast, you jump the shark, right? You jump to conclusions. The jump to conclusions, Matt, I probably need to get a little clip of that so I can play that sometimes, right? The jump to conclusions, Matt. But I don't. That's not going to help anybody, right? That's what the establishment wants you to do. They want you to jump to conclusions. They want you to fall for bullshit. They want you to not think things through, to get emotional and make emotional, irrational decisions about things. That's not what we do here. That's not how we do it here. No, we walk it in. We walk it in, and we got time. Yeah, I get it. Things are bad. We're way behind the bad guys, but still, we can't afford to become them. We sure can't fall for their tactics. When they want us jumping sharks, like, why do they push out clickbait conspiracy grifters and over truth, right? Over true research, right? Why do they do that? Right? Because they know people will jump. People have been trained to jump to conclusions and jump to their bias, and they're just playing off the old psychology of the establishment. And when I get my chance, I will have my say on that. Trust me on that. And by the way, guys, that chance is coming up soon. Gary Franchi of Next News Network, right? The guy who started the Ron Paul Super PAC way back then. When I featured him recently, I went to his stream. He picked up on one of my chats where I asked about how to get an interview with him, and he gave me the information. So I'm going to try to get an interview with Gary Franchi, and this is the exact topic we're going to talk about: is the new media, what's going on in the current in the world with current new media, right? And he's somebody who's been doing this longer than most people. Like, honestly, Next News Network has been around longer than Benny Johnson, only Alex Jones, I think, has been around maybe longer. There's been others, but a lot of these big creators, the Quartering, Tim Pool, all these people, they're newbies compared to Gary Franchi. Gary Franchi's been around, and he's old school, and his stuff's come around, and it's pretty damn solid these days. Pretty damn solid. And he went through a kind of a clickbaity phase for a while too. She's done during the Hillary thing. That got old, right? Like, when you're constantly hearing that this candidate's finally done, right? That's bullshit. It never is. Those titles never work out. They never work out. So that's how are we going to clean this up? Because that's part of the things we have to do in solution culture, is to clean up the media. Like, we have to have honest, transparent, clear media, and we can't have it psychologically driven, even though information tends to be psychologically driven. So the conversations between people who are involved in it need to start happening, so that we don't fall into the hole of just being another mainstream media with the same problems, because it'll just flip back around. And you know what? It'll deserve to, because people don't deserve to be abused by information. They don't deserve informational abuse, because that just sets up another paradigm that we don't want, another veil we don't want. And that's what's going on right now. So we got to pull these veils down. These veils of perception that should not be there. We should have crystal clear vision. Well, we'll see how that works out. I mean, that's my take on it, right? So now I got to take my take out there to other people that are involved, get their takes, and see how they react to it. But you don't do that by harshing out, right? I'm trying to, like I said, I'm supporting all these people that I'm degrifting. I'm not mad at them. I want to understand why they do what they do. I'm not mad at them, but I'm mad at I'm worried about some of the content that they put out and how it influences people. And that's what Carlin's been talking about, the socialism thing, right? So she says that the left is just funded by, I'm not going to say just. One of the big ways they're funded is through publishing houses. And she says that the mothers of liberty, right? Liberty mothers, or whoever they are, that's getting some press right now about book banning, right? And I think Joe did a show on it last night with what's her face, Godzilla face, out there going, "Oh, they want to display." When they say they want to ban these sexual books, they just mean the black people books. And it's like, shut up, man. Such a race grifter. Oh, God. That's the stuff that gets me irritated right there, man. You know, is that stuff right there. But that's not true at all. But she made a point that, you know, go ahead, ban a book. It's just one book. By the time you get it banned, they'll have 5 more out. You won't know the title to it. And it'll be all the way around the world and back before you even get a chance to try to do anything about it. Her take is they're wasting their time, right? And that they're getting big bucks for doing it. So that's a shame. That's a shame if that's the case. It does seem like a kind of waste of time. I would go out, and what I thought of immediately was, why not just go after the publishing houses? Why are you going to mess around with a book, right? Subversive element in society, right? Oh, well, it's America and you have this and this and that. Well, no, if there's a standing army in America, right? Psychological warfare or what, I think there's some room to call them, you know, treasonous against Americanism without getting too tyrannical. Now, I probably need to have more discussions about that with people too. I probably need to check myself on that too. See, that's how I always keep myself riding the wave without jumping the shark. I'm not going to jump the shark because even if I have an idea that's a little extreme, I'm going to take it and I'm going to take it to the crowd. I'm going to talk to you guys about it. I'm going to go try to find some other creators to talk to about it before I really hardcore promote it and say, this is the solution, right? That's how you work out. That's called solutioning, right? You're solutioning for this root cause issue. If the root cause issue for funding for the free Palestine, far left, anarcho, queer, freaking fascist, communist, whatever freaking you want to call them, the degenerates that are just trying to destroy the country, right? The establishment, useful idiots. Easy enough, right? Establishment, useful idiots. If that is what we're solutioning for, and this is a solution to knock off their funding, I'm all for it. However, if that's the only place, or if that's one of the places they're getting funding from, what's this all about?
Communists, socialists, globalists, anarchists, Islamists will work together to destroy capitalism, Israel, and the West. And the second part of that, which I might get into tomorrow on radio, is that there will be demonstrations and riots in the streets, and they will start in Europe and come here. Look at what's happening to Europe, because that is your very near future, America.
What did I say when that started? Okay, look, here's the other thing. As a creator, a small creator, I feel like every time I have to say I've said that, or what was I just saying, or I've done this for 20 years, all this shit. Every time I have to toot my own horn, I cringe. Honestly, I cringe. I honestly cringe, right? I don't like having to do that. It feels like I'm bragging or something, but I'm not. It's just because a lot of people don't know who Winning Reality is, right? They don't know my background. They see me up here with this extremely handsome avatar sitting here, right? And they don't know. So I have to remind it. So my crowd, man, I love you guys. Thank you so much for putting up with this me repeatedly saying this, but it's for the recorded content. Okay. I think you guys probably get that, right? You guys probably get it. All right, good. Well, hopefully I haven't lost too many of you here. And remember, you can spread the channel by using on your favorite social media platforms. Just click the share button and do that thing. If you're here with me, let me hear it. Give me a hell yeah. Give me a hell yeah in the chat if you hear me, man. I hadn't run you off yet. Hell yeah, right? I don't care. I'll say this to the damn wall if I have to. But hang with me, guys. Hang with me, because we're getting to some good stuff, right? We're getting to some really good stuff. So let's listen to this right here. Raises the paw. There's my wolfram right there, man. Woof. Right? If you're with me in the chat, hell yeah, man. Give me a hell yeah. If you're not, that's okay. Just come back and watch it later. All right, here we go. Because sometimes, you know what? This is the way. This is the thing about being a creator my size in this world with all the clickbait and all the other stuff and all the distractions. Over there's somebody reading bullshit somewhere, right, and distracting you with some kind of like life drama that's not going to actually keep the world from crumbling, right? There's somebody out there distracting you right now that wants your attention. I don't want your attention. I want to help you have a country. I want to help you be in the good fight. So if you're out there with me, give me a hell yeah in the chat. Give me a thumbs up. Give me something. All right. Give me something. All right. Let's do this thing.
Don't turn this ship around. All right. There was nothing spontaneous about the anti-Israel protests at the DNC last week. Nothing. It was an organized effort by over 200 left-wing activist groups.
You see all that? All these groups? See all these groups? Hold on. This is where I stopped it and was looking at this group. I wanted to kind of click through this like really slowly.
By over two.
Look at that. Coalition members of just that protest at the DNC. This is right here. All these people, right? All these groups. I thought Black Lives Matter was part of the DNC. They're now want Palestine free? What does that have to do with Black Lives Matter? Right? Exactly. All these groups have to have funding. These are all getting funding from hold on, I wrote it down. Haymarket Books. These are all getting funded from Haymarket. No. I mean, I guess maybe, but no. There's a lot of moving parts in this world. You can't just focus down on one thing and get mad when everybody doesn't agree about it. Right? We have to try to work this out together as a team. And if you have a bank of knowledge and other people have a bank of knowledge, we need to put all that knowledge together and get some answers from it. But look at all these groups that were there that day wearing their little checkered scarves and shouting their communist slogans, right? All these people, and they weren't protesting the RNC, they were protesting the DNC. And they were screaming and yelling inside there. Very brainwashed. The mind control useful idiots were there. So you're telling me that all these groups are there's no globalism going? Nah. There's more than one front going on, right? Now, which one's more dangerous? Probably the one with the most money.
100 left-wing activist groups.
Maybe the one with the most influence. Look, the Palestinian Feminist Collective, right there. You see that? You guys see that? I know it's Labor Day weekend, man. I know it's Labor Day weekend. This is going to be a good stream. This is going to be one that people hopefully will go back and watch, because I'm going to raise some serious hell here. But the Starbucks Workers United Illinois, what the frick, man? Dissenters, anti-war committee. I mean, so many subversive organizations right here. They're all okay. You don't tell me these aren't all being handled on some level by somebody who's got an agenda. Like if you were the World Economic Forum, the UN, the globalists, the elitists of the world, the global ownership class, as we call them here, right? If you were these guys, would you not have enough money and resources to plant someone in each one of these organizations and to steer these little queer Nazi whatevers? I mean, they may say they don't support this and don't support that and aren't with the establishment, but they don't. They're not smart enough to figure this shit out. You know, they may be very organized and motivated because they need an identity, and now they found one because they've been love bombed into their cult, right? But they're not smart. They're not smart. Not in that way. Maybe they're clever, maybe they're devious, you know, but they're not smart. They wouldn't see their own kind in the room that's getting paid an ungodly fee to completely subvert them as they subvert others. They're being steered. They're being handled. It's the playbook. It's always been that way, but this is what it looks like today.
These guys. Okay. I want to
Freedom Socialist Party. What the fuck? Who comes up with these names? And JVP Chicago. Oh, look, there's Code Pink. Huh? Have I talked about these ladies before? Remember who I talked about could use that website to create protests from their homes far away, right? So here, go buy your signs here, sign up here. As soon as you get an alert, this is where the protest is going to be. Code Pink. I went into all kinds of things about Code Pink. They're just they're little old ladies, right? That they hate America and hate men and all that shit. This is the Code Pink. It's Code Pink. And yeah, there they are right there right here with all these people right here. They've been subverting people for 2 decades or more. Now they got technology behind them. Remember they said that all the protests were being basically organized by one, like 2 or 3 people? Kind of traced them back, right? It's probably one of them is at least in here. But you know, you just put all these people on a send list, and they all know where to show up, and then they can all chip in or whatever. So these are all groups that are funded, right, to be protesters. So maybe some of these groups aren't as big as they look just because they have a logo, right? I got a logo too. You can see how big, you see how many people are hanging out right now, right? But you know, some of these, this could be like a 3-person group. We don't know, but this is how many people are listed as have been part of that protest and haven't been funded. Code pink is most hospital, meaning missing infant. Oh God.
I'm going to highlight just a few of these groups. The first one being...
Look, hold on. I just want you guys to see this. We'll get through this. Dear Asian youth. Look at that. Tell me that's not from communist China, dude. Dear Asian youth. Oh, man. U.S. campaign for Palestinian rights. These are just, what do they call these guys? Guys, what do they call this? These are these, look, Denver communists. Firebrand. Ooh. L4A, AMP. I mean, I was ACHA, ACHC. There's probably some kind of Asian thing too, right there. We got American Party of Labor.
Students for Justice in
Palestine. Oh, how sweet. Look, they're called like, I'm thinking, help me out, guys. I'm thinking of it. It's like a company. It's like a front, right? A company that's a front, right? It's just a front. Maybe it's just a front, and they put all these out there, but you know, one layer up, they're all the same, right? Or 2 layers up, they're all the same. Shell companies, a shell company, like shell organizations, right? I don't know, man. These people are so fucking whacked that they would come up with all this shit and do all this stuff. But this, remember we start out in the very beginning of Unveiling Reality talking about, my second show was Yuri Bezmenov. I remember we did Yuri Bezmenov like every Sunday until we went through all his material. And then I just did a refresh on it this year, right? Ideological subversion. Where's it all coming from? Well, we know it's coming from 2 different layers. Like you can't tell me that people aren't being subverted in schools and in the media, right? There's conditioning there. But what Carlin is saying is like, this is worse, right? To her, it's worse. I haven't seen the evidence that it's worse yet. I have to go find that still, because everything I've seen so far is just like, it's worse, but I've never heard why. But I haven't dug, in all fairness, I haven't dug into enough of her content yet to find it. But I tell you what, if I keep digging into it and all I hear is it's worse and I never hear why, I'm going to call bullshit on that. I don't care how long you've been doing it, because you need to give people the research so that they can actually become they can move down to buying into what you're saying. Otherwise, it's just a bunch of awareness content and it's bullshit.
Palestine. Now, I mentioned them earlier. They're one of the groups being investigated by 2 U.S. House committees.
Okay, so somebody is looking into these kind of groups in the congressional level, right? All right, let's see where this goes.
In 2019, Tim Walz, yes, Harris's buddy, spoke at a conference hosted by the Minnesota chapter of the Council on American Islamic Relations and took a photo with an anti-Semitic college professor named Hatim Bazian.
You know, this whole anti-Semitic Islam, Hebrew thing, I get it. It's an issue around the world, right? But this is becoming, but what I see when I see this is weaponization, right? As in we can use this paradigm to, hold on a second. All right, guys, I'm back. Okay, so thank you for holding on for me. Okay, so but I don't see this as a concern as much as how they're weaponizing these conflicts, right? And I'm not in the bottom of this Israel Palestine shit, man. Honestly, I wish that someone would just win and get it over with, right? Because I'm sick of hearing about it. But then you have Tim Walz standing there, right? A devout WEF communist socialist minded person, right? I don't want to hear that I've gotten this wrong, but yeah, and this is the upper echelons of it, because you have to understand the globalist technocracy wants it all, right? It wants it all, and it will get it all. And all these people that are supposedly a threat on the grassroots level, they're cannon fodder, man. They're just gonna get run over when this is all done by people like him, right?
Now, he's the founder of Students for Justice in Palestine and its parent group, American Muslims for Palestine. I'd like to call them SJP and AMP for short. AMP is under investigation by Virginia's Attorney General for its fundraising and alleged ties to supporting terrorism. SJP has been the main organizer of the anti-Israel protests and encampments on college campuses across the U.S. since.
Okay, so I'm guessing that's true. They're saying these are the guys. I believe it's Students for. Okay, it sounds right that they're the ones that are behind these student protests on campuses.
October 7th. Shortly after the October 7th attacks, SJP released a toolkit for members to use in organizing protests that said, quote, "Glory to our resistance."
So what I would ask Carlin was that group at your socialist convention that you watched for the last 4 days and streamed all of it and, all that stuff? Were these people there? All right. If so, there's a connection. Just saying.
Boy, they've come a long way since the hippie era, huh?
Hippie era.
Last November, the George Washington University chapter of SJP was suspended for projecting anti-Semitic messages on the outside walls of the university library.
Yeah, you think to yourself, why is this in our country? Why it's the whole thing about, it's almost like it's absurd as, I can't believe we're sitting here talking about whether what a woman is, right? Something like that, right? Like, why are we even having this discussion when it's completely absurd? This is absurd. Why do we this is two countries that are not in our country that are causing problems in our country without being our country. Like, we have other problems to worry about. Why are we? It's just like we just accept the fact that this is what's going on. We accept the fact that we got to have Israel-Palestine debates in our country with college kids and cops. Like, what the? No, none of it's right. I mean, screw them both. Like, I'm Ron Paul revolution, baby. I don't care. Israel can take care of itself. Hamas can take care of itself. Whatever. Palestine can take care of itself. I don't care. It's not our problem. Like the founding fathers said, we should not have foreign entanglements. This is a foreign entanglement. If we want to say that we're going to support Israel, that's fine. Maybe, but I mean, whatever. Some people can support whatever they want, but we shouldn't involve it in American politics. Do it on your own goddamn time. We give money to everybody around the world. I'm going back to Ron Paul revolution again. We shouldn't be giving money to anybody. They want money from us. What are you going to do for us? What are you going to do for us? Right? We're just giving it away. They're giving our money away to these people over there. And then we got to sit here and work out their politics for them. So communists can come in and screw with our kids, take over our country, collapse our country, collapse our freedom, take away our prosperity. Really? Like, why are we dealing with this? This is what Make America Great's about. This is what America First is about. And yes, Trump and all of them support Israel. Good. All right, whatever. Fine. If we want to pick a side, fine. Let's just flatten the other side. Get rid of them. And then we'll get rid of everybody that wants those people too. Because I'm sick of dealing with it. We have to get back to the business of America. I mean, honestly, I could care less. I'm so done with it. I'm so done with it. Because we can't focus if we're talking about this stupid shit. And now we go back to Yuri Bezmenov, right? Where he says, suddenly this group will come up and will make a big deal out of something, And then that'll they'll make a big deal. Homosexual fined for many years. Suddenly they want more rights. That's what Yuri's talking about. They'll come up and they'll do this. And this is the same damn shit. This is just ideological subversion right in front of our faces. Yuri is the real red pill. And I did a show on that, and everybody should go watch it. It's on Rumble and it's on YouTube. If you haven't seen it before, this is for not my crowd right here listening right now, all 4 of you. Yeah, you've seen it. But for the people that are rewatching this, go check it out. All right. Boy. You know what? Let's just finish this.
The message included, quote, glory to our martyrs and free Palestine from the river to the sea. For anybody who doesn't know what that means is there's not a Jew in all of Israel. River to the sea. An organization called Westpac Foundation helps fund SJP. Now, Westpac is SJP's fiscal sponsor, which means Westpac processes all of the tax-deductible donations on SJP's behalf. It's a legal way for SJP to use its sponsor's nonprofit status without them having to register with the IRS as a nonprofit itself. It's a convenient way, really, for groups like SJP. They can avoid having to disclose their donors on tax forms. Oh my gosh, George Soros, Tides, Open Society. Isn't that what we said they were doing all those years ago? Well, yeah, now they've just added Westpac because Westpac gets significant funding from George Soros and Open Tides Foundation. And Open Society Foundation, as well as Tides Foundation. Now,
can anybody explain? Sorry, dude, I'm just having a moment here with trying to, I got a lot to say tonight, man, and I'm having one of those things where I'm like, at one point it almost looked like I was talking to nobody. But then I realized there's a bunch of people over on Rumble. There's a bunch of people on X, I guess. And I was like, man, I'm putting on a good show right now, and I'm saying a lot of things that I really want people to hear, and I don't know that they're going to hear it. So it's one of those moments creators go through. It's when you're like, what am I doing here? Why am I doing this? What am I doing this for? Because, hey, there you guys are. See, now I feel like somebody's here. It's just like, I'm like, man, this is such an important topic. It's like, it's so important. And then, there's, people out there just listening to someone fart into a napkin for an hour. Right. And it's like, maybe that's better for people, man. Maybe I go through these times where I'm like, dude, I should just fucking quit this thing, like burn this fucking place down and just look out for myself. Honestly, sometimes that's where I get some days. I'm like, what am I doing here? It's a struggle. All this shit's a struggle for me. And there's people out there, they're just fucking lying and they're using people for money. And they get all the attention. That's the shit Carlin's bitching about on her end. Yet she's got 1,000 people or 100 people in her chat, right? So she's got reach, but she's complaining about that. I'm struggling to get reach. I'm struggling to keep people in during a show, and I still got a smile on my face. I go through moments where I'm like, what am I doing? I want to jam for you guys, man. I'm ripping a solo right now. And it's like, I can hear the echo in the back of the room, and it gets a little, but to those of you who are here with me, I love you and thank you. It's not you guys. It's people out there that don't know any of this shit at all. Right. But how important it is to understand what's going on in this world. So let me just get over myself. Let's keep moving right here. Act Blue, we've been covering Act Blue, right? Westpac and Act Blue. See, I didn't even know about Westpac, but there you go. all these big open, big globalist fundings, right? So if the left is only being funded, the real left is only being funded by publishing houses and other places that haven't learned about yet. What's going on here? Is this important? How about this money laundering organization right here? This is just for fun. They're going to get something out of their money, right? So I'm making the point that it's not just these grassroots socialists that are out there. Maybe that's the big threat, but we already know they're screwing with kids in school. So that's in colleges. But what's the bigger threat? I don't know yet. So we're just missing information. That's all. I'm putting it out there as this shit makes sense. So there could be more than one avenue. Let's just do this. This makes everybody happy.
Oh my!
Heck with her. I want what I want. Give me. Then back to business. Thank you for that, and thank you for
It's
this.
cold. A big warm Vietnam. It has to do. I can't imagine a more beautiful thing. It's cold. I can tell you all about it. I mean, look at this thing. Gonna try to get out of anything.
Thank you for the 5 gifted memberships and the $10 super chat. Talking trash and truths. So happy that you're here. Let's see. ZT Den, Gillian Gale, Renee Collins, the White Rabbit, and Veronica. Thank you and welcome to the winner circle. Each and every one of you. Right on. Yes, indeed. A Labor Day too. Thank you so much for that. And thank you. All right, let's keep fighting, guys. Let's keep fighting.
It also has raised some additional funds through Act Blue, just to get Democrats elected. Now, that's the dominant payment processing platform that, people are going around the country and saying, hey, old lady, you just gave $250,000. And there's like, I don't have that money. Of course not, because you gave it to Act Blue. Money laundering. Westpac Foundation is also a fiscal sponsor of the U.S. Palestinian Community Network, or USPCN. USPCN was one of the major organizers of the protests at the DNC just last week. On October 7th, USPN released a statement calling the Hamas attack, quote, self-defense operations, and should be understood as a legitimate response to unending violence from Israel's extreme right-wing, racist, white, supremacist, Zionist government. Can you get any more in there? I got to tell you, I love as a self-defense the raping of babies. I can see they got a good point. They have a good point. They also have raised money through Act Blue. These guys are not you if you're a regular Democrat. Another one of Westpac's foundation's fiscal sponsorships is the Palestinian Youth Movement. Now, they're the group who took credit for releasing maggots and pulling fire alarms at the hotel where Benjamin Netanyahu was staying in D.C. last month. The violent protest outside the Israeli consulate in Chicago last week that saw 72 people arrested was spearheaded by a group called Samadun. Samadun. That's an Arabic word meaning the steadfast ones. Oh, the Magnificent Seven. They were also a major participant in the July 24th protest in Washington, D.C., where they defaced things and got away with it. This group works to secure the release of all Palestinian prisoners, including the convicted terrorists. In 2021, Israel designated Samadun a terrorist group, alleging that it is an arm of the Syria-based terrorist organization called the Popular Front for the Liberation of Palestine. Wow. Have you noticed there's not seemingly a good guy amongst all of these? They all seem to love baby rape. In 2022, Samadun's leader, Charlotte Cates, and her husband were banned from entering the European Union. They couldn't go to Europe, no country, because of their ties with the PFLP. Now, Samadoun's fiscal sponsor is the Alliance for Global Justice. And the Alliance for Global Justice, they also get money from George Soros and the Tides Foundation and the Open Society Foundation. And do you remember Arabella Advisors? Yeah, they have a network of funds. They have New Venture, they have 1630, they have all these different things. It's dark money network. It now rivals George Soros in the scale of their funding for left-wing insanity. We did a show on it. Look it up. In 2021, the funds of the Arabella Network, New Venture Fund, and the Windward Fund together gave $470,000 to the Alliance for Global Justice, which in turn, oh my gosh, funds Samadoun. Isn't that weird? And it's all coming from these people. And
this is the one thing he does really well is he shows you where the money is. And this is big money. Now, it may not be the grassroots left, but it sure looks like it.
Isn't that weird? Last November, a spokesperson for Arabella Advisors told the Daily Caller, quote, grants provided by Arabella's nonprofit clients to the referenced organizations were used for project and purposes that have nothing to do with the Israel-Palestinian conflict, nothing at all. Claims otherwise are as false as they are reprehensible. Well, color me scolded. Now, New Venture and Windward have reportedly discontinued the funding for Alliance for Global Justice because of Samadoun's alleged ties to terrorism. So there's one point in their favor. In 2018, 4 of the 5 Arabella Advisor funds have also given over $5 million to an organization called Neo Philanthropy, or NEO. Now, this group, since 2021, has also received, it's weird, $37 million from George Soros's Open Society Foundation. Now, one of NEO's fiscal sponsorship is Empower Change. Empower Change. That sounds good. What's the M stand for? Well, it's a Muslim advocacy group, which is led by the radical anti-Jewish activist, Linda Sarsour. I love her. Sarsour is in this again? Yes. And Empower Change also uses Act Blue for their additional fundraising needs. Oh my gosh. So let me just get this right. Again, Arabella Advisors has issued strong denials to the New York Post that any of these funds were used for any purposes related to the Israeli and Palestinian conflict. Amen, brother. And I trust you. I mean, you seem to be laundering money and you're in with really bad people, but if I can't trust you, who could I trust? Now, George Soros's and the Tides Foundation and Arabella Advisors Network are funds for the cutting edge leaders of what has been called charitable money laundering. Fiscal partnerships and the massive complex web of groups and subgroups that the money trail winds through allows donors and the purpose of the money they give to remain somewhat obscure. Well, not somewhat, completely obscure. It can sometimes provide them with...
That's more my speed right there, isn't it? All right. Talking Trash and Truths, thank you so much for the $20 donation. No way is to stay monetized. Here's a little something for never giving up, despite how painful it can be to keep going, keep talking. Someone is always listening. All right, man, we got to keep fighting. Thank you for that. Thank you for that encouragement. And thank you for the super chat. I really appreciate that. And thank you, Wolfram, for putting this up here to remind people to ring that bell, subscribe, and hit the thumbs up. And for thanking Shelly for the super chat. Thank you so much. All right. So the point here is that money funnels down, right? Money funnels down. This amount of money, they expect results. They expect results.
The measure of plausible deniability. I gave that money to Act Blue. Did they use that? I did not want them to use that money for that. Now, the money that is ending up in the hands of anti-Israel groups that are plugged into this network, the purpose is very clear, but I didn't give any money. I want to come back to this. Communists and socialists, globalists, anarchists, Islamists will work together to destroy capitalism, Israel, and the Western world. So we have.
I mean, that sounds like grassroots right there too, right? The people that they don't have to be part of the DNC, they don't have to be part of the WEF or support any of these things, or at least say they are. And let me just say this too: when someone's sitting at a conference, right, that's being broadcast, they're not gonna disclose everything, right? They're not gonna tell you what the real plans are. You don't know who the real subverters in the room are. You don't know. I mean, we have to dig deeper on this stuff, but just because they say they're not part of it doesn't mean they're not being steered into enabling it like useful idiots, because they're all useful idiots anyways.
Leadership now that are communists and socialists. The socialists are in charge of England and France, maybe with this next election here in America. You also have the unions, the teachers' unions, and the SEIU that is doing everything they can to push this agenda to end capitalism and introduce a new system. We also have leadership in companies.
That sounds just like the grassroots socialist convention too. I watched some of it. I watched some of what they were saying. Sounds like the same stuff.
The WEF, most elite.
Hey, everybody. He'll be back in just a minute. Sorry about that. I didn't realize that he got kicked off. I see you, Wolfer. I know you didn't do it. I know you didn't chew on anything. You're a good wolf. You're a good wolf. It's a damn good thing I have good Wi-Fi over here, because otherwise I wouldn't have gotten it either. I imagine right now he's panicking and cursing up a storm and rebooting because the cat probably did something, or he has a storm and lost power. I don't know. I don't know. In the meantime, he was talking about that girl, and I stopped into the stream as well. And what's her name? Catlin, whatever. I don't really care. I don't care for her, and it's just I don't like how obnoxious she is. But he is right. Whether we like them or not, we should listen just to see what they're saying. You know, they might have something that, you know, we didn't know about. They might spark another idea in our head. You never know where the information, the good and bad, is going to come from. And every type of information is valuable, good or bad.
I'm back.
And there you are. And off I go. Bye, guys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, my entire Wi-Fi, my entire fiber went down for a second there. Sorry about that, guys. Thanks for sticking with me, Stack. Thanks for hanging. Really apologize for that. It happens sometimes. This is like, you know, this is what we this is the live business right here, man. It happens. It happens. So wow, yeah. So thank you, Shelly, for jumping in. I really do appreciate that. Let's hope it doesn't happen again. Let's get back on track. Let me back it up a little bit. So, you know, I think there's a connection between everything that we've been talking about tonight. I don't think it's just one thing. I think there's different avenues of attack, and maybe we'll see. But I mean, where's all this money going? Like, what's it going towards?
Globalists. Now, sometimes they're both of these. Then you have the Islamists, open borders, These guys are pushing open borders to bring us down to a third world and an Islamic country. That's what the Islamists get out of this. They get to take over the West. And if you
Okay, so UN is open borders. So how is that Islamists through the UN? Because the UN's the one down there helping everybody with their little maps and their little stations where they're telling people to go, and they're swinging their deals. They got their lawyer team down there and all that stuff. We've seen the Muckraker documentary, right? If you haven't seen that Muckraker documentary, Unveiling Reality, in U.S. Southern Border Invasion episode that we did, the stream I did on that has that. You need to see that. It's once you watch that, you'll understand what's going on at the southern border. However, we'll just go with this. We'll say that this does apply to Europe. This certainly does apply to Europe. And in our case, we definitely, the South American border, the southern border invasion definitely has the globalist funding that and making sure that goes perfectly well. And it's working, isn't it? And then you have the establishment in charge here that's opening the borders up as well. So they're all working together.
watch the videos from Europe, it is so important you see.
Okay, well, there you go. He said Europe. Yeah, there you go.
It's everywhere. These countries are losing their identity entirely. So let me just give you this real quick. The ground game is the anarchists. The communists and socialists and the globalists, their goal is to end capitalism, give us a new system, and it's going to be a global system, an oligarchy, and the elites will run it, and you won't have anything to say about it. Remember the WEF, you're not going to own anything, but you'll rent from the
Okay, but you'll rent, right? And that's what these groups on the ground, this communist revolution, Marxist revolution, whatever, that the grassroots, these free Palestine people that are out there, this socialist convention, right? That just wrapped up yesterday or today. Well, today's Labor Day, so it wrapped up today, I guess. I don't know, but all these people, they're all heading towards the same goal. It's all heading in the same direction towards the same thing. These people with the big money, they're doing all this stuff right here. They don't care what these grassroots people are doing, as long as they're destabilizing and bringing things to a crisis point. And guess what? They're going to help them. They're going to open the borders up and bring a bunch of gangs from South America and all kinds of other places into this country, right? And they're going to start doing the same things. And guess what? Eventually, those two groups are going to clash. How about that, huh? How about that? What happens when the Venezuelan gangs meet the free Palestine socialists? Did the socialists see that coming? Like, that's another question I would ask Carlin in her research. Well, what's their plan for the open borders? This 22 million people. Not all of them are going to be, out there slinging in the ground war. But what happens when they clash, right? Look, the rest of us are going to be sitting back at our homes watching that shit on TV. That's what we're going to be doing, or watching it on the internet, actually. Well, let's let them finish.
These guys, okay? They need to topple the West. They have to. To be able to replace it, you have to collapse it. Well, one of the communists and socialists that we know of is Cloward and Piven.
Heard that before, haven't you? Yeah, covered that one too. I got a stream on Cloward and Piven. That's out there, Unveiling Reality, Cloward and Piven's. Just look for it. It's there. I can't remember how long ago I did it. So it's there.
Professors, I think it was at NYU.
Oh, by the way, and on Rumble, it's in a playlist called Critical Data. Critical Data, I think it's the name of it. Look at that playlist, that episode, and the Muckraker documentary, the Southern Border Invasion, is in there. And Let My People Go, the subversion of the 2020 election, is in there as well. That's a great playlist, by the way, if you want to catch up real quick.
And I talked about them years ago. Their whole strategy is how to collapse the West. And what do? You overwhelm everything. Why do you think California voted to give everybody loans and you're not a citizen? Why? It will collapse the system. What will happen with all of these, with open borders? It will collapse the system, but it'll also put other people in charge, and they will destroy us on the streets, which will collapse the system. It will collapse capitalism, the Western way of life, and Israel. This is happening right now in America. This is your last chance.
Okay, so this is I think I just realized the importance of Israel and all this, right? Is that's a stronghold in the Middle East. I mean, I knew this, right? But now when I see capitalism, Israel, and and the West all in one thing. When I see all these attacks lined up, this is why I think Glenn Beck's doing great work. You know, like the way he lays things out, I wish I could do it this well. I mean, if I had my millions of dollars like him and a staff and a nice chalkboard, I probably could do it too. But, you know, it's energizing when you have everything taken care of. Like when you're worried about your bills and how you're going to pay rent and what you need to do for your kids and all that stuff, it gets real hard. I mean, the best I can do is dump my brain out every week and find the right ways to illustrate my points, right? But this is great. This is great. So he look at how he does this. This is phenomenal work. It's phenomenal work, Glenn.
November is the final call. Get everyone you know to vote. Everyone you know. If we don't have an overwhelming election, you're going to see.
And there's people that are, hey, Memento, what's up, buddy? Happy to see you. Happy to see you. You know, and there's people out there going, I don't know who I'm going to vote for. I mean, seriously, this is what we're fighting. It's not about the parties. It's about the mission. It's about stopping this shit from happening. This is the thing that's coming at us right now. If we don't stop this right now, and goddamn, I've been saying this for close to 20 years now, but now here it is spelled out for you. Everything's unveiled, right? Everything's on the board right there, and some, right? Everything's right in front of us. If we don't understand that it's the establishment versus the rest of us, and that you need to be on the side of the anti-establishment right this minute, and that right now in America is the MAGA movement. If you don't join that and stop this and put your energy, your consent behind it, right? Dude, everything that you're sitting around right now, everything that you're doing, everything that you have is going to be gone. And you're going to be living in a new kind of reality you're not going to like. It ain't going to be a winning reality, I can tell you that.
See, these guys kick in, these guys kick in, these guys kick in, and these guys kick in. And we will have chaos that I don't think we recover from. More on this tomorrow. Share it with a friend. May God save the Republic.
Okay, that's a great ending right there. The one thing I wanted to point out right here is that we just did this video right here explaining the one world order, the UN's one world order plot. We did that on it was last Thursday. I believe it was last Thursday. So if you haven't seen that one yet, I do a breakdown on this video as well. Another great chalkboard video where he really things are just spelled out and simplified. Like I probably make it more complicated than it seems sometimes. I don't know. But anyways, we'll keep looking at these and we'll keep going over it because this is what this show's about. This show came off of and was inspired by my open conspiracy series that I did in Unveiling Reality a while back. I needed a show to springboard that topic particularly off of, and Unrig the Game was born, right? And our very first book, The Control Oligarchs by Seamus Bruner, who Seamus is awesome, dude. Seamus is one of my he's following me on X now, so that's awesome. His book helped kick this off, where we learned about the background of all this globalist organization and who the players are, and we got to the root of that organization, where it came from, what it's doing, and the agendas of the UN, Agenda 2030. We covered all that in that series. And then we springboard into Unrig the Game by reading his book. Then we read The Great Awakening, which is similar, by Alex Jones. And then we read, and now we're reading Vivek Ramaswamy, and which we need to go ahead and get over and start doing here in a second. But man, I wanted, these are the topics that we cover on Unrig the Game at the kickoff show. So even if you're not reading the book with us, which I wish you would, but if you don't want to, I get it. Come to the kickoff show, because I talk about stuff like this, right? And we're going to be talking about more stuff like this as things heat up towards November, because dude, if you're not in the fight, if you're just sitting on the sidelines going, well, if you don't do it my way, then I'm quit, no. We have to all be in the fight. We are the anti-establishment for now. That's what it is. One group, one mission, no parties. Let's go. We got to get this done. All right. We got to get this done. If you're not convinced by now, go back and listen to some more stuff. Go listen to someone else besides me that if you have to, but get convinced. You need it. Every one of us needs to be voting and needs to be recruiting voters at this point. I mean, I think we got a good thing, but we can't rest on our laurels. In fact, it's not just about getting votes in November, though it is, but it's also about educating people so they understand what they're doing, like what they're voting for and what's coming at us. Most people don't even understand that this is the open conspiracy against us right here, right in front of our faces. right? Most people don't get this. And I know that my crowd gets it. And I'm really just talking to anybody who may be watching this after the fact or watching it on another platform that I haven't met you yet, right? But this is it. This is it. It's coming to a head. We don't have any time left. And believe me, just because it's this Agenda 2030 doesn't mean that that it doesn't mean that things won't be done before they get to that point, right? Guess what? 2024, 4 years later, is 2028. You don't think they're going to be really close to done, if not done, if they get the next 4 years to really implement more of this shit? And this is just one of the issues we're dealing with. But this is the biggest one because it's going to fundamentally change everything. Our money, our freedom, our environment, our supply chain, everything comes down to this. And then we got a bunch of jackass kids to go into a socialist convention thinking that they're changing the world. Yeah, they're changing it for the worse. They're all going to die. Every single one of those people at the convention are going to die by their own hands, by their own actions. It ain't going to be us doing it. It's going to be them out in the streets, and it's going to be the very thing that they're fighting for that ends up doing them in, right? It's going to be because in every situation, it's the people like them that get taken out first when the fruits of their labor lead to the elitists taking power over everyone, right? And every country it's happened. In every country that this stuff has creeped in and taken over, that's the first people. And they're so stupid and they're so blind when it comes to history that they don't even realize that they're the first ones against the wall. They're the first ones against the wall. We'll be sitting there hiding out in the country, waiting for the mobs to come get us, right? Or whatever, drones or robots or some shit like that by then, right? We'll all be hiding out thinking that we're getting away with something. And meanwhile, they're just going to be building their armies back even stronger. And who knows what comes next? There's things that we hadn't even gotten to yet. Don't mean to be doom and gloom here on Labor Day weekend, but I'm just sounding the alarm bell. The people in my crowd, everybody, Daisy, Memento, T-Rex, Shelly, Wolfram, and anybody else who isn't here tonight, like that's a regular, they get it. Suzanne, they get it, right? That Corey, even though he's not in the, hey, cool gamer, I didn't say hi to you. What's up, buddy? Even though he's in another country, he gets it, right? But a lot of people don't. A lot of people are infighting and worried about some little nitpicky shit. Man, we don't got time for that. We don't got time for that. We'll work out the rest of our issues after we save our asses. How about that? How about we do that? All right, guys. Let's get out of here. Have I pinned the shit in the comments yet? Yeah, I have. All right, cool. I pinned the links in the comments. We're going to hop on over. We're going to get off of YouTube. We're going to go over to Rumble and X. I apologize for the delays tonight. I apologize for the for my technical issues. I apologize for my moment earlier. My moment of doubt earlier. I'm glad, but I have some great friends out there that saw me through it. It's going to happen sometimes. It's just like when you're really passionate about something and you really understand, you see clearly the danger at the gate, right? And you feel like you're not doing enough. That's the moment I had, right? That's the moment I had. But I got through it and we got through this. I hope you still got a lot out of the stream tonight. For anybody who's watching for the first time, that was a one-time thing for me. But anybody's watching for the first time, man, please come back and please let's get to know each other and let's work together and be part of a solution culture that will help not only defeat this, but also lay out a new foundation for our country that will prevent this from ever happening again. Let's get on to Rumble. Let's get on to reading. Thank you so much for being here for the kickoff show. Hold on, let me just make sure I get up here when I say that. All right. This is the end of the kickoff show. We're going to head on over to Rumble now to read Vivek Ramaswamy's book, Woke Inc., chapters 12 and 13. Come on, let's go.
Man, everyone's tensed up for a Rumble.